Oh my goodness. Hello everyone, welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern fan channel. Jerome Boateng, Jerome Big Mama, Big Papa Boateng, claps back at all these claims that he's leaving Bayern Munich in 2021, the summer of 2021, because his contract expires then. Build, man. Build are so damn weird. You know what Build are? In our friend group, right? Build's just that one guy. Like me and you, we're all chilling. We're making some great jokes. We're joking, man. And we're talking about a great movie. Oh, Avengers Endgame was great, man. It was amazing. And everyone's like, yeah, bro, Tony Stark, yeah, he was great. He snapped his finger that one time. And Thanos was like, I'm inevitable. And it didn't actually happen because he didn't have the stones because Iron Man had the stones. Everyone's laughing. And then Bill, they're like, well, the movie sucked. It was terrible. It wasn't a good movie because of this and that. Such a gloomy guy. I don't know why Bill would have to do this. Now, they could come out and say, at this current time, Bayern and Boateng aren't speaking on the renewal of their contracts. You could say that, but to completely say Bayern Munich won't approach Boateng is such a weird statement because it's subjective. It could change. What if in January Bayern Munich love Boateng and they want to keep him forever and give him a 5-year contract till he's 36? That could happen. So it's very weird how Bill just assumed that Bayern won't and Boateng should be on his way out. Okay, well, here's what Boateng said. Nobody approached me. Nobody spoke to me. I didn't know anything about it. I was surprised. I feel appreciation from the coach and in the team. We'll see the rest. So Boateng himself is just as confused. I'll be honest, Bayern's management should learn a very good lesson from this Alaba situation, where you have a contract that expires 1 year and it's a year before the contract expires. Typically, you want to get the work done before it expires. You can't renegotiate it after it expired because they're at that point considered a free agent and they can go anywhere. And most clubs would probably offer them more money to lure them away. So we should learn that lesson from this. And when you look at Goretzka's contract, Kimmich's contracts, they have 2 years left on their contracts. Kimmich's different. He has 3 years left in his contract. But Goretzka, Niklas Süle, they all had 5-year contracts. Goretzka had a 4-year contract when he joined us. So essentially 2 years and not 1 year. A year before, you get in a complicated situation where if you sell them a year before, they're significantly cheaper than if you had 2 years left on their contract. For example, Thiago's contract, right? The real dilemma for us wasn't that Thiago wanted to leave. It was that we opened this great window for him to. We should have renegotiated Thiago's contract in 2019, and we would have avoided having to see him leave. If you did that, and then all of a sudden, if he wanted to leave at some point, that would be when he's like 31 because he'd be tied down to this long-term contract and there wouldn't be any new ideas because his contract only has 1 year left in it where he can choose to wait and make more money. If he waited a year, his agent makes more money, or he can go but it'd still be cheaper. So either way, Bayern don't get the best deal. We get absolutely clapped up. Okay, but seriously. So this situation with Boateng and Alaba should teach Bayern to not let it go so long before you start renegotiating these contracts. I get it. I get that you want to wait. What if a player isn't as good as they were a year before? I don't know. You want to wait, but sometimes it's more sensible to do it ahead of time. Okay, I know a lot. I know a lot about it because I don't wake up on time for school. And imagine if I slept on time, I would have enough time to sleep, wake up on time, and then I'd be in class on time. But I don't sleep on time. I don't sleep at 10 p.m. I sleep at 12 midnight. And then I'm up. And then when I get up, I'm so tired, I'm like, let me just snooze this clock for an extra 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes wasted where I could have gotten ready and been on my way to school, but now I'm late, okay? You don't want to just do these little spirals of events. Let's get these contracts done so much quicker, and we wouldn't have these problems. We wouldn't have had the Thiago problem. We wouldn't be having this Alaba problem, and now the Boateng problem. Because if Jerome Boateng got a contract renewal in 2018 or 2019, this would have been avoided. We wouldn't be hearing about this. Now, what is everyone's thoughts on Boateng leaving? Because personally speaking, I don't understand why we'd let him leave. I'd give him a new contract. One, he's experienced, 31 years of age, but not just that. This is the Champions League World Cup winner. He brings an element to our defending that Niklas doesn't have yet. Boateng is dominant, and he worked hard. Remember when Unai Hoeneß was like, leave? Unai is just so blunt. He just told Boateng to find a new club. I'm like, Unai, why would you say that? That would hurt his feelings. But in fact, if anything, it motivated Boateng. Clearly, Unai Hoeneß knew if I tell him this, he's going to work hard and prove me wrong. And Boateng did. He lost 20 pounds between the Hinkrunder and the Sinksrunder, I don't know, the Hindrunder. Yeah, the first half, the winter break in Doha. He lost about 20 pounds, which was huge because it changed his complexion. It changed how he looked. And we know he's not fast. So him losing that many, pieces of pounds it just proved to be correct because he became lighter and more agile. So for me, I'd keep him because of that reason. And I wouldn't let him go. And also, he isn't terrible. He's doing his thing. He's very good. So why would you not keep him? So if I was Bayern, I'd keep him. But I don't know where the logic to let Boateng leave. Now, maybe Bayern don't want to pay his wages. And that's a whole different story. Depending on how we are a year from now, maybe this virus, this bastard disease, is still in full fruition across the world. Maybe that's the case, and Bayern are being cautious by not offering Boateng a new contract, but that wouldn't make sense because he's playing well. Flick seems to like him a lot, and he offers depth. And then at the same time, maybe Bayern just want to move on and replace him immediately and keep developing the team, maybe by buying a Konate or an Upamecano or a new center back. I don't know. Or promoting a young player. I don't know. But personally speaking, I think most people want Boateng to stay. And I do too. Now, here's the situation, the dilemma, okay? If we let Boateng go and Javi Martinez, that's a whole different squad situation because Javi and Boateng both play center back, but Javi Martinez more so in the midfield. So for me, you'd have to buy you a whole new center back, and potentially everyone was saying Dennis Zakaria would replace Javi Martinez, which I kind of get, but Roca, Thiago Dantas, these are two midfielders, and Goretzka's already there as our version of Dennis Zakaria, a better version at that too, because he can score. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why everyone would be so invested in this Dennis Zakaria guy. He's very good. And then at Boateng's level, Alaba and Boateng leave. Those are two starting center backs, senior center backs. You'd need to buy a center back that complements Niklas Süle and complements Lucas Hernandez. Not saying both of those are going to play center back, but you know what I mean. You need to get players that complement other players. So I think we'd be looking for an Upamecano to replace Alaba, a good like for like. He can pass into the final third like no one's business, and he can dribble and progress the ball higher up the pitch. And then Boateng, that's a whole new situation. Do you just buy one center back and then trust Kawasi and Chris Richards, which I probably would. I wouldn't buy two center backs, even if two center backs left us. So that's the situation I'm at now. And then at that rate, you start thinking, well, if Alaba leaves and Lucas is going to go to center back and Niklas Süle is going to be a center back, then who's our left back? Because it's going to be Alphonso Davies, so who's the backup left back? And then you get to another situation where you're questioning whether or not Remy Vita from the second team is available and ready to be the second choice left back, because he's actually very good. So there's a lot of waiting, a lot of uncertainties with this Boateng leaving situation, because it opens up a whole new spiral of a bit of dilemma, right? Because one of the best positions in terms of having a lot of players that we have right now is center back. We're blessed with the position. I mean, our our main center backs got injured a week a week apart. I think, was it 2 weeks? Olympiacos, and then I don't remember the game Niklas got injured in, but they got injured around the same time. That's the Bayern way, right? Kimmich's injured, great. Everyone just picks up these unusual injuries, and especially the season where there's such a huge strain on the players to keep going. So for me, I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, what if a main center back gets injured again? You don't have Alaba anymore. So we have to be very careful. I'd keep Boateng, and I think Bayern should look to do it. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia San Mia, and peace.